Hey y'all, I just got to watch Beyonce's documentary Life is But a Dream on my HBO. Yes, I did. Okay, and let me get straight into it. The documentary came on Saturday night after Oprah show, but I don't have OWN, but I do have HBO, so I missed the Oprah show. And Life is But a Dream is supposed to be a documentary, answer some questions, tell you about Beyonce. And so, what I want to do is just kind of go through it. Most people have seen it on the internet or have read so much about it on Twitter. There's no point in me going through every single scene, but I'll just highlight some of the stuff that stuck out to me and some questions that I wanted to get answered with the documentary. Okay. So the first thing I noticed was, there's the opening scene with the house and it shows some videos and things like that. And I'm like, oh, if I see one more video of Beyonce as a child, because I have like every DVD, everything. But anyway, the first thing she started to talk about was the end of her relationship with her father as her manager. And for me, it was just a vague explanation of it. She was saying we were coming to this point, things were going this way, I had to make this choice for me, but she doesn't necessarily say if he did something. I understand that she wants to be independent, but why at this time? Why before this album? I wanted them to get to the nitty gritty. Like, was it because your father was stealing your money? Was it because your father had the kid? That's what I want to know. Was it strictly business? Like you just had creative differences, like a Janet Jackson control type of thing with Joe Jackson, as in control the album? Or was it personal? But they didn't talk about that. Okay. Then another thing that stuck out was the fact that she has her computer with her just about everywhere, or cameras around everywhere. And, she has said that she's been documenting herself since 2005. I have her Vogue magazine over there, but I don't feel like picking it up and citing how I got this information. Anyway, and so I'm just like, okay, this is great. You have a computer, but I'm trying to imagine myself having a computer with me at all times, or a camera at all times. I don't know. For me, that was weird, but that's what she does. Something random that I've always noticed, and to me, Beyonce just looks just like Matthew. Okay, random. Okay. Then another thing that I've noticed in the documentary was what I was afraid of. It was the fact that I kept seeing videos I had already seen before and hearing answers to questions in the same way. And I was like, I guess my question was, if you're going to do a documentary, if you are the one choosing to do a documentary and saying that it's going to be personal, you know, give me what you say you're going to give me. If you want to be a strictly private, then don't do it. That's how I felt. Okay. Then she got to the part where she was talking about she was pregnant and she said it as with child. To me, that just sounded like weird phrasing. Okay, maybe I'm being picky. Okay, something that she went to was she skipped to the Billboard Awards that she did with the Run the World song. And at some point, Frank Gatson says we were trying to repeat the moves, replicate the moves, whatever, but we couldn't do it, so we brought the guys out here. And the question that I had in my head, I was hoping it would lead to, what does Beyonce think about people who say she still stays from the internet and she replicates it without giving people their due or whatever? Because it sounds like that's what they would have done had they been able to replicate the steps. So, given Beyonce says that she's an artist and she wants people to respect her craft, I wanted her to talk about, what does she consider stealing? What does she think about the controversy that surrounded that very performance where they stated that the production of it was the same as production done a year earlier? You know, tell me about it. Like, I want to know. Did you know that it was something that somebody else already did? Did you pick it on purpose? Okay. Um, Also, my thoughts were, why didn't anybody tell her that Run the World was the worst song of 2011. Not even trying to be funny or cute or anything. That song sucks, and I've always thought it. I purchased four, and I refuse to put it on my iTunes like that song. Somebody should have told her that that song sucks, and I don't. They probably did because I'm hearing that they told her she should have started with End of Time for that era, which I don't necessarily agree with that. Um, but anything but that song could have made the Forever go so much better. Because so many people heard that song and they were just like, I'm done. I'm not even paying attention to the rest of the singles. And I would have thought, given that after that big old performance and her performing on Oprah, performing X Factor, this place, that single only peaked at 29. So that should have told somebody something that is not just me saying it sucks. It's a whole lot of people feel that way. So I wish you would have spent more time crafting a better song for a comeback single, but I'll come back to that. Then Beyonce talks about her values and how men have power and they can control what's sexy. And I agree with her at some points that men do have power, they do control what's sexy. But I also feel that women perpetuate this false idea that you gotta have all your clothes off to sell sex in order to get attention. She's guilty of it. Rihanna does it. So many people, they have a bunch of talent, but they are serving me this provocative stuff. And I'm just like, if you want to go against the system and do something different, show me something different, which I understand she's doing behind the scenes, but I think her image should reflect what she's saying too. Okay, some of the positives I've noticed about the documentary were, of course, Beyonce's voice. I love her voice. I've purchased all her albums. I've seen her twice in concert. I love her voice. And I love that she can express what she wants technically. She's able to picture it in her mind and make sure that her performances are correct and the lights are correct, and that's respectable. And she's able to critique people and stick to what she wants. I like that. Okay. A funny part was when Frank Gansey just started going off, cursing out poor Ashley. Ashley, who's been there since the beginning, since the first DVD that I purchased, that Be The Experience, and telling her that she better get that hat on her effing head. That was funny. Then it skips to Beyonce talking about her pregnancy and people thinking she had a surrogate. Let me just say my opinion about that. I do not think Beyonce had a surrogate. I believe she was pregnant and I believe she had the child. I'm not one of those people who thinks that. However, I do think that at the MTV Awards and when she had that dress on, I think she had a fake baby bump on. That's the only, yeah, that's what I think. I think there was a baby inside, but she put some extra padding around her stomach. That's what I think. Shoot me. Okay. The most, there was only maybe a couple of moments where I felt like it wasn't scripted and I was actually getting to see a real moment in Beyonce's life. And that, the main moment was when she was showing herself doing the toast at Jay-Z's birthday in 2006. And I'm guessing it was an engagement party or maybe it was just a birthday party. But I loved what she told Jay-Z, and she talked about their companionship and how he met her when she was 20. You know how you're going from that 20 to 21, you're almost an adult, not really. She said that he steered her and helped to make her a woman, and then she goes on TV at the All-Star game. Okay, she's really pretty. She has really great skin. Okay, then at the end they brought out Blue, showed her for a couple minutes, and Beyonce talked about her pregnancy. Matthew came back into her life. Of course he was there when she had the baby, because he's a vital part of her life no matter what happened. Okay, so I enjoyed the documentary, but I don't really think it was a documentary. It should have just been this is what I've been doing while I was away. I don't know if documentary is the right term for it. Something that stuck out that Beyonce said was that artists are making singles, selling singles and not selling albums, which in some cases I agree, like Flo Rida, Kesha, those people, but I feel in way more cases people do sell albums, but people just don't buy them. And that was why I had mentioned that given she wanted to sell for the album, I don't think she should have used Run the World as the debut single because it's a poor reflection on the album. It's the worst song she's ever recorded by a long mile. So I hope that in the future, when she presents her music, that she doesn't come out with this dancey song just to get a hit to start the era. And the other thing is, I don't like all this hype that's building up to the era. I'm just like, just give me a single. I don't want you on top of the pyramids talking to this one, talking to that one. Just give me the music. But overall, I like the documentary. We really don't learn too much new other than she had a miscarriage and she wrote a song about it. We heard a snippet of it. That's really all the only new thing. But it was enjoyable. I can't say it wasn't. And let's hope we hear something new. Okay, I will talk to y'all later.